game of cards, it's all about the hand you're dealt. For every bad hand, there could be a better one right around the corner. You just have to keep playing. But there's always risk involved. Risk that you could lose, and risk that you could win big. The same can be said for criminal investigations. Over the last few years, investigators across the country have been playing a game of risk, revealing elements of their coldest investigations in a very unique way.
What if we came up with putting unsolved murders and missing persons on decks of cards and put them in the jails?
Some law enforcement agencies have replaced the faces of traditional playing card decks with images of missing and murdered people. The goal? Solve the unsolvable cases.
We don't know whether he's a suspect or a victim.
Ashley Flowers is a writer, producer, and host of the hit podcast, The Deck. She is also the co-host and creator of one of the longest-running, top-ranked true crime podcasts out there, Crime Junkies. In the newest podcast, The Deck, each week Ashley shares details on one of those cold cases featured on decks of cards that they hand out to inmates. She's hoping to bring justice to these victims.
And we'll tell you how you can catch Ashley's show live at the Chicago Theater in February. And she joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Good to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Will you tell us how, I think this true crime podcast genre has exploded over the last few years. Crime Junkies has been one of the longest running ones. How do you think you hit on something there that people weren't doing, Ashley?
Yeah, our show specifically, I think what we gave the audience is we were one of the first podcasts that gave them real, tangible call to actions. It's what I was looking for as a consumer before I created Crime Junkie. I was taking in these stories and oftentimes being saddened or outraged and thinking, what can I do next? And that's what we give our listeners, the what they can do next.
Did you tackle the Delphi case?
We did very early on. And that one is just, a stone's throw away from where I live.
Yeah, and it's, you've talked about, I don't even know how many cases you've talked about over the years. Talk about how this podcast, The Deck, is a little bit different than Crime Junkies.
Well, this one, we're actually getting a lot of participation directly from law enforcement. So law enforcement agencies are the ones that create these decks, and they have been really willing to bring us in and work with us and share elements of their investigation in hopes that somebody out there knows something.
So let's talk about the case you're going to be talking about at the live show at the Chicago Theater. It's the case of Darlene Hulse.
Yeah, she was a woman, 28 years old, in Argus, Indiana, which in 1984, when she was murdered, was just a tiny town of like 1,500 people. And in the middle of the morning after her husband left from work, she was drugged from her home in front of her 3 children and taken to a nearby wooded field and murdered. And for 38 years, her case has remained unsolved. And so we are working actually with her daughters in hopes to bring her case to a national spotlight.
Have you had feedback from people that things have gotten solved as a result of any of your podcasts, Ashley?
So there's, a lot of different ways our podcast is helping. So there are cases where we've gotten feedback that are, bringing the case to light has brought in new tips. We've been able to fund testing for DNA that has given does their names back, that has solved homicides. So the podcast is helping, but in a number of ways, not just in bringing the story.
Tell us about a case in Wisconsin of a 17-year-old woman, I think it was, from 1974. Her name was Catherine. I'm not sure if I have the last name correct here. I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name. Does that ring a bell? The Wisconsin case?
Oh, we've done a lot of Wisconsin cases.
Well, let's...
Are you talking about on the deck?
Yes.
The young woman in Wisconsin, is she maybe the one we covered recently who went missing after prom? Is that the one that you're thinking of? Yeah, so that was a case that has been decades old, where one night after like a prom after party, she walked out of the venue and just was never seen again.
Unreal. And there's also a case out of Colorado. Dale Williams seemed to vanish.
Yeah, that's the thing with these cases. Every week we tell one story on one of these cards, and there's a reason that these have gone unsolved for so many years. They're some of the most difficult cases. So they are cases of people vanishing, seemingly into thin air and never being seen again, or cases of the most complex unsolved homicide. We recently have one actually that will be coming out on Oakley Al Kite, which is one of the most bizarre unsolved mysteries I think I've ever come across. And so that's what I think is so unique about The Deck is you're getting cases that most people have never heard of and really need people's attention the most.
Are you finding law authorities are willing to talk to you, or are some of them feeling bad that they haven't solved these cases? Are they willing to talk to you about these?
You know, so many agencies are, and I think it's because they and we recognize that it is very rare that we get to talk to a detective who was the one initially investigating the case. Most of the time, the people working these are cold case detectives who are, you know, a couple generations removed from the first guy who worked it. And so now I think we can all come together and say, listen, what was done is done. What can we do now to help this family, help bring closure to this victim?
Well, Ashley, congrats on your success with your podcast. And you can see Ashley at the live show at the Chicago Theater on February 17th. It's called The Deck Investigates. And you can check out thedeckpodcast.com. And Ashley's on our website and on the Crime Junkie podcast as well. Thanks, Ashley.
Thank you so much.